Welcome everybody to week 7 of the Dynasty Fantasy Football Recap. It's another fantastic week of fantasy football. This is the 8th recap, if you count the draft that I'm doing this year, even though last year I said I wouldn't do any. What happened to that? Guess I went back on my word. Who knows? But another great week of fantasy football, guys. Some good weeks for actually some good games this week. I mean, outside of fantasy football, and not too many injuries that take too much effect on fantasy implications as far as teams go. And we had one big trade in the NFL that happens. We'll see what happens with that. So right away, we'll get into week 1, or game 1 of week 7, which is my Rampagers taking on Jose Bravo's football. I felt it was time to change my name just because I was not cutting the mustard. I felt I was doing Alexis Texas an injustice associating my name with her. So I decided to change it. I'm sorry, Paige, that I couldn't make you happy. If some of you know who Paige is, then congratulations. Kudos to you. And guess what? If you know who Paige is and you're not Alex, then you get to move up higher in the draft anyway. But if Alex, you get a higher position anyway because you're always supporting me and tweeting out my show. You're like our number 1 fan for the Smart Marks podcast. And so props to that, man, because you're only, I mean, yeah, I'm just blabbering right now. So who else is going to watch this? I don't know. You and Joe and probably Luis. So moving along. It was just another bummer week, man. Bravo beats me 81-59. Let's see some of my star players' points. Ashlon Jeffrey, Chicago Bears wide receiver, 0.9 points. Cleveland Browns tight end, who should have had a big game this past weekend. I think they're playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville is one of the worst defenses against tight ends. 0.5 points. And Matt Bryan, my star kicker, 1 point. Also, another Atlanta Falcon player. I should just stop trusting Atlanta Falcons. Well, no, take that back. Roddy White, I mean, he showed up for me this week, so thanks, Roddy White, for your points. And then Antoine Smith, who I picked up, ridiculous, 0.9 points. Another injustice done to me again. It's just a commish curse, guys. Like, Cincinnati gives me negative points 2 weeks in a row. So what do? I go on to pick up another defense, being the New England defense. 1 point difference. Still, nonetheless, I just get shafted by Cincinnati again. Cincinnati can go F themselves. Gabe, your team sucks. So congratulations, Bravo. I actually considered this the shocker of the week because I was more than projected to beat you. Dude, if I would have just scored 5 points with each of these guys, I still would have lost. Moving along. Game 2, we saw Luis's turn down for what? Take on Alex's The Shield. Alex did not stand a chance in this game because Luis just absolutely went off. Gets his highest score of the year, I believe, with 129 points to 72. We got some highlights here. Alex's a-holes. He did get 22 points from Tom Brady. Larry Fitzgerald gave him 2.1 points. He trusted Jason Wynn again. I think that was a bad idea. 2.7 points there. Jeremy Hill with 1.5. That's the back of the Giovanni Bernard. And Reggie Bush with a lonely 3.2 points. That just sucks. Luis had big performances from Sammy Watkins. Who saw Sammy Watkins coming up? Good start there, Luis. Matt Forte with 22 points. And DeMarco Murray with the disappointing 19 points. 19 points is the low score for DeMarco. We'll all take it. Play until he gets hurt, Luis, because you're definitely gonna need DeMarco going into the postseason. Looking at your running backs, but dude, if you can just hold on, I think you have a solid chance of winning this league. So just play your cards right, Luis. Don't make any moves you don't need to make. You're doing a great job. I wish I had your roster. I think you would easily be first place had it not been for a couple of mistakes early on in the season. But you could probably easily be undefeated. I'm looking back at your schedule, dude. I think there was a couple of times where you could have just moved some players around, started with the wrong guy, and you would easily be 7-0 right now. Moving along, game 3, we saw Jeremy's Better Than Desert defeat Joe's challenge intercepted, 104-59. Another 59-point team here in the making. Jeremy got just force a habit, Jay Vader. JVader82 on Twitter. You can find him there. You can also find me on Twitter, Mateo83. Follow the Smart Marks podcast on Twitter. I'm just gonna plug everything because it's my show. You guys are watching it, so guess what? I get to do whatever I want, except get naked on camera, which I'll do on a different site later. Russell Wilson gets 37 points, highest scoring player of the week this week. Jordy Nelson gets 14 points. Blazes bummers. He did get 28 points for Peyton Manning, but that was about it. Frank Gore gives him 2 points. Giovanni Bernard with 1.6, Reggie Wayne with 1.5, Robbie Gould with 2 points, and the Seattle defense with a monstrous -1 point. Sorry, Joe. I know defensive points hurt, like when it comes down to it. And it's a necessary evil, I believe, to have negative points because they take negative points when somebody fumbles the ball, throws an interception. So as far as it goes, I know I've had some questions about whether or not I should allow defenses to have negative points. I'm going to allow it. It's just the look of the draw. I mean, come on. I could use all the help I could get, seeing how I had Cincinnati 2 weeks in a row give me negative points when, I mean, that could have been game changers for me in the past couple weeks. But negative points stays, guys. We're playing with standard rules in this league. Game 4, we had Johnny's Draft Day losers defeat Freddy's Blackbeard Delight 95-67. Kind of a low scoring for Johnny, if I can call 95 points low scoring. Really low scoring for Freddie. I'm not used to seeing him with 67 points on the board there. Johnny's star players were Andrew Luck and Ahmad Bradshaw, both of the Colts, 20 and 18 points respectively. Good job, guys. Freddie's flunkies. Fred Jackson gets injured, 2.8 points into the game. Ben Tate was a dismal 3.8. And, I mean, Julius Thomas, no one saw this coming, dude. I would have started him, too. I actually did start him in my NFL Perfect Challenge, 2.7 points. You should do his money, but this week just wasn't the case. Game 5, we saw Joey Shiver Me Timbers defeating Gabe's It's Always Sunny. 101-68, Gabe's Lamers with the Carolina defense with a -2 points, and he left Percy Harvin starting, even though Percy Harvin got traded into a bye week for the New York Jets. Get into Percy Harvin later. Joey's big players were Eli Manning, Demaryius Thomas, Dez Bryant, Lamar Miller. Eli Manning with 23, Thomas with 29, Bryant with 15, Miller with 14. So that's our scores. Enough scores, right? Let's hand out some Week 7 awards. Haven't said that all year. Lamer of the Week goes to me and Joe. So tie. If you want to go by decimal points, and Joe got it, but I feel pretty bad about that because it's a 0.8 difference, 0.08 difference. So, I mean, I barely beat Joe, but I'll accept this Lamer of the Week with you, sir. Shocker of the Week goes to Bravo. I'm going to give it to Bravo for beating me because I was supposed to do pretty good this week. I'm not going to lie. I should have started Antonio Gates. Don't know why I didn't start him. Just something about me was like Jordan Cameron, he's going to do good at Jacksonville. Everybody beats Jacksonville. Everybody should do a good job against Jacksonville. Jordan Cameron, you are a disappointment, sir. You are on the chop block of the week, I want to say. That's just saying he's on my trading block. So if you guys want to trade him for Jordan Cameron, you need a tight end, hit me up. He's done good in other weeks. I don't need a tight end to give me false hope. So after, I guess, the bye week with Antonio Gates, I'm probably done with Cameron. So we'll see what happens. I think that's week 9 or week 10. We'll get into some injury reports here. CJ Spiller came into the game for Fred Jackson. Immediately had an upper body injury. I think reports were a broken collarbone. Either way, I don't know if that's true or not, but reports are he's out for the season. So both Buffalo running backs, if you own them or own one of them, are injured. So I believe there's Dixon and another guy that's playing for Buffalo if you are in desperate need of a running back. But I believe there's other running backs in the free agent market right now on our league and in other leagues, so you guys should check them out. So I have a note in here. Go pick up the Buffalo running backs if you're in desperate need in this league or any other league. Vernon Davis still looks hurt. Another dismal week for Vernon Davis. I can't put any trust in the guy. He was my Week 16 championship game bummer last year. So I'm glad I didn't draft him. Otherwise, I'd still be in the same position I'm in right now, but at least I don't have him on my team. Calvin Johnson probably going to return this week. Maybe. I don't know. They're playing the Falcons in London, which is a ridiculous game nonetheless. It's a road game for both guys. My Falcons will probably blow it and will lose to Detroit this week. I don't think the Detroit Lions need him, so it's probably 50-50 with Calvin Johnson. I would not play him just because of the London game, just in case. Adrian Green should also return this week. Bravo, I'm looking at you. You own both guys in this league. How you pulled that off, I don't know. But you could get both your big receivers back this week. Just pay attention to those not the waiver claims, but the injury reports in your little My Team feed. So watch out for that, Bravo. And I own both of these guys in separate leagues. So I'd be really happy if both of them can come back at 100%. Calvin Johnson probably still hurt. So we did have a trade this week. Percy Harvin having to get traded to the New York Jets for, I think, a couple of draft picks from Seattle, which he wasn't doing anything in Seattle anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. As far as implications, I think Percy Harvin's points actually improve in New York just because he has a separate receiver out there with Eric Decker who can also draw points. So I think these guys are going to trade back and forth points. I mean, Decker and Harvin are still great plays, I believe, going later into the season, especially deep into the season. So if you have Harvin, hang on to him. I think Eric Decker's a solid start as well too. Just because Harvin's going to get those extra eyes on him. He's going to get those 2-on-1 man coverage or whatever. 2-on-1, and Decker will probably get 1-on-1 man coverage, and Decker could break free, get you some more points. Hasn't been impressive this season. He's had one good game, I believe, but Decker could do better. Yeah, and as far as for Seattle, I mean, you saw it already. Doug Baldwin's targets went way up. So if you have Doug Baldwin, keep playing him. I think he's going to do a good job. So there you go. So that is our fantasy football recap. I can go right into our Pick'ems league here. Our Pick'ems league, we'll start at the bottom and go to the top. Blackbeard's Delight at number 10 of 36 picks. Number 9, Sarah 007, 41. Number 8, Victoria's Secret with 57 picks. Number 7, You're Welcome. It's my best Damian Sandow with 60 picks. G-Man at 61 is Obscene, 62 picks. I just figured out your name. I Know How to Pick 'em takes a little bit of a shocker this week with 63. I am tied at third. My God. I'm actually third on tiebreakers, based off of tiebreakers at 63 points. So, hey, I may know how to pick them going late into the season. I'm not going to say anything like I'm going to win, knock on wood, but, you know, I do know my picks. I try to do a good job of that. Picking Ain't Easy at 68. Also at 68, Bravo's Football. He had a big week this week. I believe he had the most correct picks this week. Congratulations, Bravo. Good week for you all together just because you beat the commish. Well, luckily, you probably would have beat you wouldn't have beat anybody else except for me. Just let that sink in. You would not have beat anybody else except for me. Well, and Joe. You would have beat Joe. But everybody else you would have lost to. So there we go with that. I know I had some other news to report. I can't remember what it was. So it couldn't have been that important, right, guys? Just me babbling to myself as I look for my picture app. There it is. Oh, God. Jeez. The show has hit the rails. It's off the rails. Going into week 8. Let's talk next week's matchups. We have me taking on Gabe. We have Luis' turn down for what? Taking on Bravo's Football. Alex is the Shield taking on Better Than Desra. Freddie's Blackbeard's Delight taking on Joe Noonan Challenge. And except that I got a special cover photo coming up this week for the next recap and maybe for the Facebook group page. Got to check that out, guys. And I have Johnny first place, Drop These Losers, taking on Joey's third place, Shiver Me Timbers. Quick note in the fantasy football standing, guys. Johnny's still in first place at 6-1. Congratulations, Johnny. We have Luis in second place, 5-2. Shiver Me Timbers also in third with 5-2. Better Than Desert, 5-2 in fourth place. So, I mean, those top 4 things can just really switch around, especially if Johnny loses this week. Blackbeard's Delight at 4-3. Bravo 4-3. And then we get into our sub 500 teams. Alex the Shield 3-4. Joe running out the top 8 at 2-5. Gabe at 1-6, and me at 0-7, all by myself at the very bottom. You know, I will win a game this year. I'm not saying who's it going to be against. It's just going to happen. And, you know, I don't know. This is the second year out of 3 years I've stunk it up. So it sucks. I'm not going to lie. But this is what happens, guys, when you play fantasy football and you play 5 leagues. You don't focus on one of them. And it should be the one I'm running. But maybe I focused too much. Maybe that was my problem. Maybe I need to stop making moves and just let my team play and not give up on guys easy, like I gave up on Chris Ivory. You can probably go pick him up on the waiver wire. You can try to put that claim in before me, because if you don't, I think everybody will get him before me anyway, just because I've taken up so many waiver claims. Anywho, on that note, guys, set those teams, pick those picks, and we'll see you here right here next week on the recap. Peace out. See ya, Punk, playing you out. It's clobbering time, bitches. Clobbering time.